the coalition of united political parties has applauded Nigeria's electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, over its assurance to clean up the voter register before the 2023 polls. This development comes amidst allegations of discrepancies in the register and other electoral fraud claims made by the CUPP. The coalition says INEC admission to the alleged discrepancies has vindicated political parties. Spokesperson of the coalition, Onyeagocha, commends the move by the electoral body to prosecute those behind the alleged falsification of voters' register and to investigate the alleged plans by some people to force INEC to suspend electronic transmission of results. He says INEC's assurances to flush out fake names from the voters' register will help douse tension in states where reported manipulations were uncovered. For more on this, we are now being joined from our Abuja studio by Honorable Onyeagocha, a former House of Representative member, former Secretary to the Imo State Government, and PDP senatorial candidate for Imo East. Pleasure to have you. Let's talk about the register. Isn't it shocking that we're even making discoveries like this in the register? Isn't that the reason that's why people are calling for even a third-party independent verification of the electoral register itself?
Yes, I agree with you that there is need for a third party to come into the process of ratifying whatever might come out as the voters' register for Nigeria. Because what we have discovered in Imo State, particularly in Omoma ward, leaves one in a lot of doubt that this whole system has not been compromised. Some people don't understand what the issues are. We are saying that there is what INEC told us is referred to as an access code given to few individuals in their office for the purpose of gaining entry to doing anything within the voter registration process. That access has been broken into by some individuals who took advantage of it to get names that don't exist in a particular ward called Omoma, get pictures that were not taken by INEC, and loaded them in thousands in a particular ward. So the big question is, who did this? Who had the access code that was broken into? Can we identify the individuals involved so that we can remove them from INEC and possibly prosecute them? Because cleaning the register, removing all these dubious names would, at the end of the day, not solve the problem. The people will still have opportunity to doing something worse than that in future.
Well, this Omuma word that you are talking about, can we interrogate it a little bit further? Isn't that the electoral constituency or ward of the governor, Hope Uzodinma? Are you trying to accuse some people of playing hanky-panky? I just need that clarification. Considering the fact that, Imo State has about, 3,000 polling units, 3,523. And then INEC in 2021 told us that INEC created additional 1,235 polling units. So you will expect, of course, that there will be some upsurge in the number of registered voters, even if Imo was later identified as the state with the least number of newly registered voters. What exactly are the issues with what you've brought up now? Is the problem with Hope Uzodinma? Are you accusing INEC of manipulation?
Thank you very much. It is a case of the owl crying at night, and then in the morning the baby dies. If you may recall, by the end of August, Senator Hope Uzodinma boasted on TV that APC has done very well enough to win all the 36 states in the country. So we became concerned and we decided to investigate what is giving him confidence. And that is how we went into to check the records of what is going on in PVC registration in his ward, Omoma. And in Omoma, he suddenly increased the number of registered voters from about 9,000 to now over 40,000. In fact, the total number of votes beefed into the records, is about 36,000 plus. If you may recall, if you go to INEC voters register for 2019 election, Oru East, which is the local government of Senator Uzodimma, had a total number of 83,600 registered voters. 83,600 registered voters. Then all of a sudden, his ward alone, his ward, Omoma ward, which is actually a rural part of Oru East, has 46,000 voters registered. And then we started seeing names like Adesoyan Nash, who was born in the year 1900 as a registered voter in Central School Omoma Ward 2, in Central School Omoma 2. And then we have several other people who were born in 1901, 1903, and things like that. We saw that passport photographs that had nothing to do with INEC registration were introduced in the register. Now, but that is not enough. We had to go dig deeper to find out what is really the plan. And we went to Federal High Court to Owerri, where we found out that they have already arranged one Mr. Wankwere Moral Chiwendo to bring an action in the same August, late August 2022, that's last month, to bring an action against the Independent National Electoral Commission. And if I may read out what two things only, they are asking for a declaration that it is illegal and unlawful for INEC to electronically transmit, feed, or collate the results of the election of the 2023 general elections. They are also asking for an order of court, an order of injunction restraining INEC, whether by themselves, their staff, officers, privies, or whomsoever described, from using or deploying the bimodal voter accreditation system or any other similar device, equipment. So you could see that the link is heavy. He boasted that they have done so well to win the 36 states. They moved in to pad up the voters register in Omoma ward, his own ward, and then they brought an action before the Federal High Court trying to stop the use of BIVAS and transmitting election results, transmitting the results of the elections electronically. If you look at it, it is the kind of scenario we are used to seeing in Nigeria. If you take this suit that has been brought before the Federal High Court to Owerri for granted, and that is it, the next thing you will notice is that a day or two, considering that they have shown proficiency in compromising the judiciary, a day or two to the election, you will hear that a court sitting in Owerri has granted, has given judgment to the effect that INEC cannot use BIVAS and cannot electronically transmit the results of the election. Before you know it, everybody is running helter-skelter. The election will hold, they will enter everything manually, and then they will rig the election. So we are saying that Nigerians just have to wake up to the fact that so much is going to happen between now and the election. You have to go back to the register to check all this. But a lot of work is already in the hands of INEC. Okay. How come a governor who...
Okay, finish up before I ask you the double question. Please finish up.
Thank you. How come it is in the electoral ward of Senator Hope Uzodimma that we are finding this kind of mess? How come it is in the Federal High Court in Owerri that they are trying to stop the use of BIVAS and stopping the use of electronic transmission of results? There is a link which we want everybody to understand and wake up to.
Okay, so secondly, the follow-up question I want to ask is, this thing you have discovered, has INEC confirmed it, and is there a joint statement or a statement from INEC out concerning it? Because since they are the regulatory body, since they are the main body, they are the election czars, let me just use that word, the ombudsman, they need to be able to confirm it and put it out there, and from there people can push against what is happening. So has this been reported to INEC? this word particular, has it been confirmed by INEC? Has INEC put out a statement to that effect? Or INEC is just saying generally we're going to clean up things?
Well, you have to pity INEC in the situation they have found themselves. The best they have been able to say is that they are still in the process of cleaning up the register, and that wherever they identify such manipulations, that they will get it sorted out. But they have not even denied it. And the data we have is not from any strange source. INEC knows that these facts are very, very correct. And there is no how they have come out in any way to say this is not true. But all that they are saying is that they are in the process of cleaning it, that they will certainly clean it out. But that's not sufficient. We are saying that beyond cleaning, how did this happen? Who were those involved in it? We know that there are access codes to get into the system to do this. Who had it? And who lost his own or who compromised his own to the extent that this has been done? Because we believe that it is not sufficient to say that this is what happened only in the isolated case of Omoma. We believe that much more than this has been done across the Federation, and there is work for INEC to do. We are therefore saying that there is need for an independent audit. Independent audit. Because unless INEC produces the people involved and punishes them and kicks them out of INEC, it doesn't matter the amount of cleaning work we do, nobody will trust whatever is coming out of INEC. But we believe that they are already looking into the job because a formal petition is being forwarded to them, and we're also monitoring the case which is before the Federal High Court. Even though the lawyer in whose name they claim to have filed the suit has disowned the suit, he said somebody stole his stamp as a legal practitioner, he didn't file the case, but we are monitoring it. Until that case is thrown out from the records and thrown out of the court, we will not trust whatever they are doing because they can still go at the last minute to get a judgment, a dubious judgment like they are used to doing over the time.
Okay, two things. One, INEC has said that it's carrying out supplemental activities in line with its schedule to clean up the voters register. INEC has also restated its commitment to prosecute electoral fraudsters where they exist. Three, INEC has also said, look, there were cases of double registration, fictitious registration, over 1 million persons, that it has thrown out already of the register, and those states were named. Second, are you aware that Onyeagocha of the CUPP, who had previously made these same allegations that you are making about Imo State, is now saying that, oh, he believes in INEC's capacity to clean up the register and that is fine by him because you and Onyeagocha seem to be on the same page. Now, are you also aware that the Imo State government, speaking through Declan Emelumba, has told the security agencies to go after Onyeagocha because he's lying about the secret court action that he talks about the inflation of figures in Omoma. And if that is the case, as it is, you stand the risk also of the Imo State government saying security agencies should come after you to come and prove your allegations on this program. What's your response to all of this?
Thank you. It is not for the security agency, it's not for the Imo State government to declare Ikenga wanted. In fact, they have previously declared me wanted and other citizens arrest on me. But that is what we are used to seeing in Imo State. The target is to intimidate us. The target is to frighten us out of Imo State. We're not going to abandon the state for them. We will be there in the state. And we challenge them to arrest us. Nobody is afraid of being arrested or being charged before a court of law. But a situation where, when I was reading the statement made by Declan Emelumba, the information commissioner, he was talking about Ikenga committing seditious offense. I need to remind him that sedition has ceased to exist. Sedition, the law on sedition has ceased to exist in Nigeria. It was actually thrown out in 1985 by the Court of Appeal in the case of Ato Nwankwo against the state, where it was described as a colonial law which is aimed at gagging the people and that it is inconsistent with the provisions of the Constitution in regards to the right of people to freedom of expression. What Ikenga has done is to throw up the facts and put them squarely on the table. And what we are doing is to reiterate the fact that we are not just focused on INEC, we are also equally focused on the judiciary, because we are in a season where people compromise the judiciary in order to get whatever they want in elections. A situation where an order of court, whether rightfully or wrongfully, is given, stating that you cannot use BIVAS, poses a challenge to our electoral system. A situation where the court says in its pronouncement that you cannot transmit results electronically poses a challenge to us. Somebody has filed this case in court. The person in whose name they have filed the case is denying it and has disowned it, yet the case has not been withdrawn from court. So this is a time for vigilance. This is not a time for them to throw tantrums and start threatening people that they will arrest them. It is not for the Imo State government to arrest. It is for them to defend the allegations made against Senator Hope Uzodinma in terms of what he has done with regards to voters register in Omuma ward. How come Omuma grew from about 9,000 to over 40,000? How come the total number of registered voters in 2019 in Oru East, which is the local government, where Omuma is 1 out of the 12 wards, is only 83,600. And all of a sudden, only Omuma out of the 12 wards now has about 40-something thousand votes. Why are they compromising it? We were thinking that if they have been in power for this long, they should have been able to perform well enough to be able to market them in these elections. But rather than doing their job by showing that they can govern the state, they are busy taking advantage of their muscle to manipulate the register. Honorable
Onyeagocha, sorry to interrupt you. Maybe we should listen to the Imo State government side of the story. I think we have a video of Declan Emelumba addressing these same issues for purposes of balance. If the producer can just pull that up.
This is why we deem it necessary now to call on relevant security agencies to immediately apprehend the said Ugoshinyere, to find out from him where and how he got the figures and the document he was brandishing before the public. Now, the reason for this is very simple. One is that INEC has issued an official statement on this matter and has said that they were still going through the process of what they call automated biometric verification exercise. By this automated biometric verification exercise, it means that INEC is still verifying the voters' register as entered in this election cycle. And it is only after that that they will now release the list of, comprehensive list of voters in the whole country for public to come and see and then maybe criticize or make inputs or ask questions.
We as a body recognized and respect the rights of citizens to speak out in a democratic process, either as individuals and groups demanding for explanation from public agencies like INEC in matters of this nature. It is also important for us to apply caution in exercising such rights in order not to heat up the polity unnecessarily, nor indict any individual.
Okay. I'm sure you've seen the side of the Imo State government there for balance. But I also press you even further on this and ask you, Is this the only area in Imo, or there are other areas, you know, you would like to highlight? And secondly, in all of this, yeah, INEC has made a public statement, but I understand that in every state, I mean, there's somebody in charge of INEC in that state, a commissioner of some sort. Is there any word heard as regards that? Are there some other areas in Imo State that has been looked at? And let's even extend it beyond Imo State. Have we all taken our time as a people to look at this register critically in other parts of the country and see where we can pick up things, apart from the states highlighted by INEC? Because if we look properly, we might still have things to see.
Thank you for that question. The law requires that INEC would need to be pasting these registers from time to time in different wards for people to verify, to make their inputs, to raise their objections or raise some petition. But then the big question is asked, does INEC really do this? Do they announce when they were about to do this? Do they do public advertisement of having done this so that people can follow it up? We all know that to a very large extent that most of what goes on in INEC is still not very open. The only thing is that the agents of the Imo State administration think that they have a monopoly of information as to what is going around in INEC. And they think that they can play around and then at the end of the day hoodwink the people. But we have come a long way, considering what happened to us on January 14, 2020, where the Supreme Court suddenly kicked out the government and brought Hope Uzodinma into power. And that is why everybody is now serious as per what is happening. Every incident that happens in the state, there is always this blame game. Security agencies should arrest Ikenga Imo. In fact, I was accused of sponsoring Ugochinyere in a press conference which they made, which has also gone viral. When they are not mentioning Emeki Edio, they are mentioning Onyeagocha, or they are sponsoring protests and accusing us of sponsoring insecurity in the governor's home local government area. But we are saying enough of that. We are certain that much more than this has been done in different local government areas in Imo State, because that is what is giving him what gave him the confidence to make that pronouncement that they have done very well to win election in the 36 states of the country. And we are also believing that there is a huge link between the manipulation of this register and the suit brought against INEC and the INEC chairman trying to stop the use of BIVAS and trying to transmit the results of the elections electronically. So this is a wake-up call for everybody across the country. Go check up your own voters register wherever you may have access to it. Find out what is being done with regards to your ward and how many polling booths are being created and how are all this going on. Because another leg to this is that violence is now being systematically introduced in several communities and constituencies, the target of which is to frighten people, so that at the end of the day, if they don't come around for voting, records can be made up and results can be produced. Because just 3 days ago, a Kututu market in Ihito-Afuku was attacked, people were killed, the market was destroyed. Even the Catholic Bishop of Olo Diocese has issued a statement condemning that. And the people who have been fingered to doing it are the agents of the state who came in there in a security outfit and attacked everybody. So a lot is being done on how to manipulate the 2023 election, and we need to keep highlighting this for everybody to understand. And I thank God that the church is also showing interest in it, particularly because of that statement issued by the Catholic Bishop of Olo Diocese.
Okay, Honorable Onyeagocha, just talking about balance and responses. My phone has been ringing here. I saw a call from Chief Dan Onyeagocha of CUPP, who probably has an interest in it, but I got a text from Declan Emilumba. He says, my brother, good morning. Can you please tell your guest that I never said Ogunchinyere committed a seditious offense. I said sad, seditious outbursts. Well, what do you say about that? The Sedition Act of 1870, was even abolished by the British themselves in 2007 because it gives, leaders the opportunity to be authoritarian and to exercise divine rights that they do not possess. But he said seditious outbursts. I didn't say he committed a seditious offense. What do you say to that?
Well, Emelumba takes delight in distracting me, and he wish I would discuss such mundane things. I'm not an English teacher. I make no claims to turning this event to an English lecture. But I want to remind that same Emelumba, who today is shouting wherever he goes that Ogunchinyere should be arrested. When he contested election to Imo State House of Assembly after he won, a judge stopped him from being sworn in. It was me, the same me, Onyeagocha, that took to the judge to National Judicial Council and got that judge kicked out so that Emelumba could get opportunity of being sworn in into the Imo State House of Assembly. How come when we were fighting for him, it was okay in 2007, 2008? And we had to fight the judiciary, we had to fight judges who were being manipulated against them at that time, and it was okay by them. But now, when we try to stop other judges who they are trying to manipulate, or other systems who they are trying to manipulate, they get angry and start calling for our arrest.
Okay, so
what has changed? We fought for you.
You talked about two cardinal points. You talked about the electorate going out to check the books, the register when it's being printed out. You call for transparency with INEC, and this is also a challenge to INEC to let people at least see the register, print it out, use various forms of media so they can verify what is in there. But most importantly, you also talked about the judiciary. So as regards cases, around disrupting the rights of people, transmission electronically of results, are you going to go into the Judicial Council again to make all of this reportage? And have you started doing that?
Yes, sir. With regards to this case that has been filed at Federal High Court to Owerri, we are saying that it is not sufficient that the lawyer in whose name they brought the suit has denounced it, that he has no hand in it. We want to find out which other lawyer took advantage of the stamp of the lawyer who has denied this case, went and filed this case before the Federal High Court. It is a punishable offense under the Legal Practitioners Act, because such a person has committed a fraud and should not be allowed to continue practicing as a lawyer. So we are going to take up, we are still taking up the matter. We will be bringing it before Owerri Bar, and we are insisting that this other person who filed this case in another person's name without clearance from him must be detected, and such a person must appear before the Disciplinary Committee of the Nigerian Bar Association for the purpose of ensuring that no such thing happens. We are not afraid of people filing cases to challenge INEC or anything, but don't do it in a dubious manner so that there will be opportunity for others to appear and argue their case. And it has to be open and transparent. Do not try to file a case and then you are hiding it. We've been trying to track this case and they were hiding it within the filing processes records of the court. So when you file a case, feel free to allow the rest of the world to come into it. I will apply to be joined in the suit. And I believe any other person contesting an election should also equally apply to be joined in the suit, because we are all interested parties, so that we know what is being planned by the people who brought this action and how they may be thinking of compromising the judiciary using this suit that has been filed before the Federal High Court.
Well, Honorable Onyeagocha, we've been talking about voters register, inflation of the register, INEC, BIVAS, and all of that. But you are running for senatorial seat, right, in this election, this 2023 election?
Yes, sir.
From, is it Owerri Central or
yes.
Imo East? Yeah. Yeah, Imo East, right?
Yeah.
Imo East, which is Owerri Senatorial Zone.
Yes, okay, yeah. So how is that going? I mean, what efforts are you making in that direction? What are your plans? Because that concerns you personally, directly.
Well, thank you for giving me this opportunity. The governor has been busy hounding me every day in the state. When he's not sending people to lead protests on the streets of Owerri that I'm the sponsor of his security, he's leading people to carry out protests to say that I should stop referring to Emeki Hedioha as the governor. Emeki Hedioha remains the governor of Imo State. He won it. His results are still in INEC as the winner. The Supreme Court has pronounced him governor, but he's still struggling with legitimacy, and he should stop taking it out of people like me. They have sealed out my campaign office in Owerri to stop me and maybe distract me, thinking I'll start fighting and quarreling with them on the issue of the sealing up of my campaign office. I have equally abandoned that. So what we are doing is focus on what we have set out to achieve, which is to provide good representation for the people of our constituency. Each time I issue a statement condemning what is happening in one part of the state or the other, they get angry and they start attacking me and calling for my arrest. But the truth is that when I criticize what is happening in Olu Zone, it's because there are a lot of Olu Zone people living in my constituency. And there are too many people who have fled from Olu Senatorial Zone and who have now moved into Owerri to dwell. So, of course, I should be concerned about them. They are registered voters, and I believe that if I do not show interest in what concerns them, then I'm not being fair to them. My senatorial zone is a municipal senatorial zone. And being a municipal senatorial zone, there are many people from Olu Zone living there, from Okigwe Zone living there. And if my constituents complain to me about what is going on in their constituency that is affecting their livelihood, of course I will show interest in it, and then I'll show concern and try to help to resolve it. I believe that 2023 is a very critical year in the political development of Nigeria, and we're not going to leave anything to chance. We know the judiciary has been manipulated over the years. We know the INEC has been manipulated over the years. We know security agencies have been manipulated over the years. And that is why we are determined to make sure that we speak out loud and clear to everybody who wants to listen and who has a PVC that you must vote in genuine representatives who are going to discuss issues of common interest to you. We're not going to leave anything to chance. No amount of intimidation or blackmail is going to work out. We know that the target is to frighten us, and possibly they may want to kill some of us, but we're not going to relent. We have been in the trenches fighting over the years. We fought the army. We have fought all these years to have democracy in this country. We're not going to fight and get to this point and surrender it to any other person who thinks because he's sitting as a governor, he has the right to frighten anybody. We are certain that this election will be free and fair, and whoever the people vote will be the person that will be declared winner. That is why we are monitoring every inch of this election. I am also putting myself forward, hoping and believing that it is the choice of the electorate to decide whether I am good enough to be elected or not. And that's why I'm reaching out through consultation and waiting in accordance with the law for when campaigns will be declared so that we can begin to reach out to all the people who are going to make the decision that would help the people to choose who their senator or who their elected representative should be.
Okay, on that note, we'd like to thank you very much for joining us this morning on The Morning Show here on Arise.